Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, summers are coming, but where are you going? Where are you? Last week we talked about some of the things that we needed to walk away from, some of the things we need to leave behind because they get in the way of our living life. They prevent us from discovering all of the joys. Jealousy and anger, being closed up to the possibilities. And it's hard to move forward when we get stuck. Maybe the kids have left home and that was the meaning of life. Finding a new meaning. We need to walk away. We need to get up and start moving. Well, this week I want to talk about where are you going? Where are you going? What are you walking towards? Because if you don't have a vision for where you're going, you'll end up wandering aimless in life. What direction are you moving? Without the right direction, life is simply lost. Moving wherever the tides take us, aimless, adrift to the current of the world. Now that is an option for life. And I have known some people who, I don't know, maybe I'll go to school. Maybe I'll go to work. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do that. The only thing that's for sure is you will die. And they've missed the opportunity. I bet you've known some folks the same way. They have no vision, no direction. Our faith is about giving us a vision so we can see something that we want to move towards. Let me describe it this way. Just before I retired, I bought a wood lathe. I have a woodworking shop and I enjoy tinkering. And with this wood lathe, the first thing that I did, somebody would ask, would you make a bowl? What'd you make? I said, I made sawdust. I made lots of it. And it was all over. Not just the workshop, but every time I walk into the workshop, I traipse it up the stairs. And if I keep going, I traipse it into the living room, into the bedroom, everywhere. I made lots of sawdust. After a while, though, I wanted to do more than just make sawdust. I wanted to try and actually make a bowl. So I started by shaping a piece. Sometimes I'd have to let it sit for a while. I'd rough it out and then let it just sit and come back to it the next day. Because I needed to see what kind of a bowl it should be. I still do the same thing. Yeah, traipsing the sawdust all through the house, yes, of course. But I still put the bowl on the lathe and I begin to rough it. And then I stop. Because I need to see where it's going to go. That's our life. We need to have a vision for it. And faith gives us a vision if we're willing to allow it to do that. It's not a set of rules that, okay, do this on Sunday, do this on Monday. It is a vision-giving tool to help us shape our lives to be meaning-filled. Did you catch the Old Testament lesson from the book of Psalms? Don't be like that mule. I bet you someone's called you a relative of a mule once or twice. Don't be like that mule, stubborn and obstinate, dumber than a doorknob. Listen to God, and God's going to teach us where we should be going. God has the vision for us. Now, it is not, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, and it's not that spelled out. But what it is what are your gifts and skills? What do you want to learn how to do? In my retirement, I had to develop a new vision. Listen to God speaking to me in a new way. And that's what we all need to be doing. And then we need to be willing to act on it. And did you catch on the New Testament lesson from the book of John? There was a challenge. The paralytic was sitting around waiting for life to happen. No one's here to help me get into the water. Well, there was this belief that the water, and every so often it had some ripples, and if you could be the first one into that water, you could be healed. No one will help me accomplish that goal. Well, guess what? No one came into my house and said, Kirk, Grab the wood lathe tool this way. Here's the on-off switch. I had to get that vision and make it happen. Yeah, by going out and talking to people, by going out and working at it, and by making lots of sawdust. But I had to make it happen. You needed to make the vision for your life happen. Ask the questions. Where should I go? What can I be doing? We can't just sit around and do nothing. Whether we're 1 or 101, we can't just be sitting doing nothing. Summers are coming, but where am I going? That's the question. Simply adrift? How many more summers will we have? That's not a promise. We need to take advantage of this summer. We need to embrace it today. Whether we're just a little tot or someone 101, we need to take advantage. There's a man whose wife had a cat, but he hated cats. Oh, he hated cats. And so he had a vision, he had a thought. Here's what I'm going to do. He put the cat in the car and he drove it about 8 or 9 blocks away, and he opened the door and scatter. Get out of here, kitty. Get out of here. Got home, and as he started to pull in the driveway, what was walking up the driveway but the cat? So the next day, he took it a mile away from home and said, I'm going to solve the problem. Got it out, and as he pulled in the driveway, there was the cat walking up the driveway. Well, the third day, he said, I'm not going to lose to this darn cat. And he put the cat in the car and he drove it 100 miles down the expressway, crossed a couple rivers, crossed a couple railroad tracks, 100 miles away. And as he was on his way home, all of a sudden, he had a problem. Frustrated, he called home and said, sweetheart, yes, honey, what can I do for you? Is the cat there? Yes. Would you put the cat on the phone? I'm lost. I don't know how to get back. You know how easy it is to get lost in life? How easy it is. We all need directions, and that's part of what our faith is about, is to give us directions on how to use the day, how to use the time. You know, I've got this old car at home. It's a 1930 Buick Marquette, and I would encourage you to Google that sometime. They only made it in 30. 6-volt system. I've been restoring it for 20 years. It is drivable. And I have driven in a few parades and driven around town for a few things. But I don't like to drive after dark very often because this car has this design. One tail light. Well, didn't have to see. This was 1930. Anybody remember 1930? A couple of you maybe. The requirement was one tail light. Then the headlights are so dim, all they do is let someone else know you're coming. They don't help shine the way. Our faith is about shining a light for us so that we can see the way. Our faith is about shining a light so we can see where we're going, to help us know where we want to go. Maybe the direction we're currently headed isn't the direction our life should go at all. Our faith is about helping us to recognize that. What is important to you? Your faith will help you discover that. It's not about putting everybody into one cookie-cutter channel. We all have to do the same thing. It is about discovering what are some of the things that set you on fire and get you excited about life. Get up and get doing them. Or challenging you to learn something new. That's what reading our Bible is all about. It's about opening our eyes to the possibilities of a new day. That's what reading the Scripture, or devotions. Devotions aren't about just, oh Lord, I've been bad, punish me and I'll give up. It's about, Lord, help me to see something possible in this new day. Forgive me for all my mistakes of yesterday. Help me to see a new vision. Maybe it's a daily walk in the quiet. Maybe that gives you the opportunity to start to dream. But these are some of the things that we need to be doing. So what are some of the other things you need to be moving towards in life? Maybe it's moving towards being giving. There he goes. Andrew probably paid Kurt to tell the congregation, you need to be more giving, right? That is a joke, because no, I haven't talked to Andrew about that. And it's not just giving of financial resource, but giving of time, giving of talent, giving of the skills and the abilities that you have. Church I served in Stone Creek, there was a group of ladies at the time. I was 40, they were about 80, and they met every Thursday morning for quilting. Talk about a patient group of ladies, because they tried for 8 years to teach me how to quilt. After 8 years, they decided I was welcome to visit with them, but leave the needles to them. But that's part of what our giving is about. So what are your skills? What do you want to give of those gifts and skills? We have a 70-acre Christmas tree farm in southern Ohio. I enjoy it very much. But what really touches my soul isn't just going down there myself. What touches my soul and fills me is when someone else comes down and we have time together. It is the giving away of the experience of being there. For 30 years, I did that with kids. Now our daughter, who is a member of Bath UCC, last summer she said, Dad, could I bring the church youth group down from Canton? What I heard in that is I filled her soul by teaching her. So what are you giving away? I hope it's a lot. I hope it's something meaningful. Giving isn't just money, it's the giving of self, it's the giving of time, and the giving of resource. So what else do we need to be moving towards? Maybe it's being more loving, or being more patient. Maybe it's about learning how to be more open to others' thoughts. Do you like it when someone comes in with some wild, crazy thoughts? The obvious answer is no. We like it when somebody comes in and says, boy, you did that just right. But what we need to learn how to do is to be open to other thinking. Maybe it's a crazy thought. Let it go, it'll die. The farm we have this building project going on right now. We have a couple collections of Amish builders coming in. I'm the general contractor, then I'll be the finished carpenter. Currently, I'm helping them. Well, I gotta be honest, I'm in church. I stand and watch while they do the work. We had last week an Amish carpenter do the timber frame. And this week we have a different Amish carpenter coming in, and he's building the walls and the roof. But what I have enjoyed the most about these Amish folks coming in is sitting down and talking. At lunchtime, at breakfast time, sitting down and talking. They're open enough that they've allowed me to ask all those dumb questions that an English person asks. We're all English, by the way. Doesn't matter where you're from, you're English. They've allowed me to ask all of those wonderful questions. Why do you do this? Why do you do it that way? Bottom line, by the way, I'll let you in on the secret, is they set limits on how they're going to act, and that's the limit, and they don't push it. That's why they do it that way. What do we need to be open to? Where are you going? I think one of the things we need to do is learn how to listen. Learn how to listen to others. When we know how to listen, then we can respond. There was a family who had a tragic, horrible loss. Someone in their family died, and some of their friends sent cards or flowers. Some didn't know what to say or do, so they didn't call or say or do anything. They just, whoop, I'm staying away from that because, if I go see somebody who had somebody die, that could infect me and somebody in my family could die. But one particular friend called on him and said, I have a peculiar request for you. I would like you to gather up all the shoes in your house and put them in a bag. I'll be by today at 1 o'clock. Sure, whatever. Put all the bags, 1 o'clock, here you go, thanks. The person came back at 4 o'clock with every shoe polished and shining. And she said to the family who had lost someone they loved, she said, I cannot change your hurt, but my hope is that in this little act of kindness, you can see that I love you. We need to reach out with love. So what do you need to be moving towards this summer? Maybe it's being more loving. Maybe it's being more open. Thrown out a few ideas. Your challenge is to find one and move in that direction. Thanks be to